because I was wondering about this. I couldn't really find any information on this, but the brain scan picture, the classic brain scan picture, if this is your brain on porn and like normal brain and then heroin.
Yep.
How long does it take to get to that point of that image of your brain on porn after daily use? Over what time period does it take?
Yeah, of course. That's what everybody wants to know, but it's different for every person. But what we know is that, well, there's so many factors, but I'll just tell you a couple of them. So it clearly like culminates over time. So the more you go back, the more you're damaging your brain. But what we know is, and the way I always talk about it, because it's the easiest to conceptualize, is that your brain's homeostasis has been changed after the second consumption, second time you viewed it. But like then the more you go back, more frequently, consistently, and especially with intensity, I think intensity is the biggest variable.
So what adds to intensity?
Intensities, genres, acts, like, the way I talk about it so as not to trigger people is, if you have tabs open and then you're teased into this next level tab, which honestly usually devastates people because it crosses a moral boundary, it becomes violent, it's underage people, it's same-sex attraction, it gets really funky for people. But when it ramps up like that, it is like this friction point of anxiety and arousal.
Right.
And
so a lot of people associate anxiety with arousal anyway.
Yeah. And honestly, like if you hear me talk about brain patterns, it's because when you consume pornography, your brain's using the speeds out in the extremes, too fast and too slow. So like when you hit this intensity, that fastness and slowness increases. And so it's giving you more tension in your brain, which is the opposite of bringing that speed back into that medium optimal brain pattern so that you can think well and your reward center stays healthy. So like with the intensity of genres or acts or whatever, then what happens is the reward center gets even bigger floods of dopamine and it fries out the dopamine receptors. At the same time, the frontal lobe is being deactivated. It's being slowed down even more. So like to go back to answering the question, how long does it take? The more you go back, consistently, the longer the sessions and the more intensity you ramp up, then that's going to happen faster.